All right, welcome back to Melon and Me podcast. It's your girl Whitney,
Hey, your girl Mia.
and we are
We're
back,
back
y'all. We've been consistent. This is what it's been 2 weeks ago. Oh, we was just on here two
2 weeks
weeks ago.
ago.
All right.
And hope you guys checked out the latest episode, the last
Mm-hmm.
episode.
And it's a lot of stuff going on in these streets, a lot. So we're gonna
Ooh-wee.
hop in it just to see how much we can get through. Once again, we're under tight time constraints, but we're gonna make it do what it do. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about that I saw, I just posted it to Melon and Me podcast is Diddy. Okay, we got to touch up on the Diddy update, the surviving Diddy update. Um, I knew this was coming, y'all. I knew that a male victim would be coming to speak out eventually. And we have our first male victim that has come and, slapped a lawsuit on Diddy for sexual harassment. This is his former producer who says, now this producer is messy. I ain't gonna call him messy, but he dragged a lot of people into this lawsuit. So he says he was producing for Diddy and Diddy touched him inappropriately and his penis, his anus. Diddy had him basically do sexual acts with other jump offs like he did Cassie. So his lawsuit is aligning with Cassie's because Cassie said that Diddy made her have sex with multiple men in front of him. So apparently some of these quote unquote jump offs that he had to engage in sexual activities with are other celebrities. One of which is Stevie J. So we all know Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop. He has been accused in this lawsuit as been one of the people that Diddy's former producer had to have sexual acts with in front of Diddy. And we have our actor, prestigious actor Cuba Gooding Jr. He has been named in this lawsuit. Okay. On top of that, on top of that,
Ooh.
Carisha, Young Miami has been dragged into this lawsuit as well. Not her directly, but her cousin. Apparently, her cousin, a female, he was made to do some sexual acts with her as well. So this lawsuit is
Oh,
a
this
can of
is
worms.
juicy.
It's juicy. It's 73 pages. I've been trying to dig up the court case. So I want to actually get into the court files, y'all. I want to read the court case. Okay. So I'm gonna bring you some legitimate information. I've only got to graze it, and what I've seen is messy as hell. And now we understand why Young Miami has been so quiet because she may have actually known about some of these allegations that were going to be coming out and that she would be drug in them some way, somehow. So that's the update,
Ooh.
y'all. It's all alleged.
Ooh.
Diddy's team has totally denied all of the allegations.
Dun, dun, dun.
What you think about
Oh
that,
my
y'all?
God. Oh, girl. That is a lot. Hmm. You
Yeah.
know, we know Diddy has been quiet for quite some time. I think I said that on the last episode. Even when he does post something, his comments are turned off.
Yep.
It's I'm not surprised because I feel like what we did see with the whole Cassie thing and all of that, what I do feel like is that was just the tip of the iceberg. And now we're about to see a rolling effect come in. I don't think that this will even be the last. I think that this is just
No.
another one because there were some other people that tried to get in around the time Cassie came out and
Hmm.
they kind of just fell off to the wayside. But this 73 pages is a lot of details.
A lot of details, y'all. And I will
73
be
pages is a lot of details. And
digging
for the
through it.
specifics to be inclusive of other people, other big names, this really can spiral into so many different ways
Yeah.
to where I feel like, again, this is another biggie. And I am probably a little certain that we're going to see some other big ones this year.
Yeah. Because
This may not, you know what I mean?
yeah, a lot of people were
It,
confused about like, why is everyone coming out now? Why is everyone all these lawsuits back to back? And I think I let you know, a lot of people don't know that there's a Survivors Act that was
yeah.
just
Yep.
implemented. So it's
You
giving
did say that.
everyone in California now, you have like a year. I think they have like a year to bring forth these lawsuits, no matter how long
Yeah.
ago it happened. So it's going to be some more coming in.
Mm. I
Yep.
just, girl, I need you to dig through
Girl, I'm
my
gonna
my
dig.
lawyer friend here. You
Yes. No,
know, I
I'm
need you to dig
pre-law.
and
This is a
dig
great
deep.
study case for me to get prepared
This
for
is a
law
great
school.
study case for you. And here's what I will say is that I hate it for the culture. I hate that these big names of people have to be turned out to be creeps and all sorts of things. Um, just don't do stupid shit. Don't be a creep. Don't be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, even if you're gay,
I
just
mean,
be
this goes
gay,
from Bill, this goes from extends to R. Kelly, this extends to Diddy and all the other nameless people, in the industry that just it hasn't been their turn yet. But it just sucks because you guys have changed the culture and have moved the culture forward in so many ways to where we can each probably tie back a memory or some really great memories to their music, to their shows, to all of that. And now what we're experiencing is the demise of it's very much their fault, but it still is on the other side. It's like, dang, y'all, really? You know what
yeah.
I mean?
People got to get their
So,
urges under control because the way y'all have
yeah,
fame and money and riches and businesses and you throw it all away for sex is insane. Like it's
it's
insane.
insane.
I
It's
don't
insane.
understand the sexual addiction
Drugs,
here.
sex,
Mhm.
underage,
Yeah.
fetishes. My thing is pee on people that are 18 and above.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
there's
you
plenty of
don't,
willing
if
people.
that is, there's plenty of willing people that are participants and they will sign up for that and they are at your doorstep.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
don't have to drug them. You don't have
Yeah.
to, you don't have to do any of that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just stop being weird. That is
And if
my
you want to be
PSA
gay, there's plenty
for
of gay
this is
people.
just stop being weird.
Yeah, and I feel
Don't
with Diddy, I do feel like it's honestly a sexual repression that he's had because, people have been saying he was gay for so long, and maybe he is bisexual, gay, or whatever, and he repressed those feelings, so he acts out in this sexual predatory way, and it's just like, be gay. Like, do what you do. There's plenty of people that would consent. You don't have to harass people to get that sexual satisfaction from another man, woman,
mm-mm,
whatever. People will sign up for
don't.
anything.
People will
Have
and
them
have
sign something. Yes, have them sign
have
be like,
the
I consent
I
to this.
think Candy, Beerus, and Todd have been a great example of that. I think Beyonce and Jay-Z are great examples of that, not in the way in which of sexual favors, but just having them sign NDAs and all of that just to be in their presence. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's things happen. People actually utilize that. Utilize it.
Yeah. If I was a famous celebrity and had so many assets and stuff that, were vulnerable to being taken away by sex, I would have everybody signing shit. Like, okay, make sure we're both consenting. Just sign this. Especially if it's just like a one night stand. Like, sign it.
I think my other one other thing I'd like to say before we move on to the next subject is, do these people really think that they just won't get caught? Like if
I don't know.
I'm messing, think about it. If I'm messing with underage people, and I'm a big name, so if I'm messing with underage people, if I am taking advantage of whomever, if I am doing any inappropriate, disgusting gesture, acts of whatever, do I really think that this just will, am I just so that big and just so out of touch
Yeah.
that I just don't think it's going to ever happen to me down the line?
It's an
Even though
ego
we've seen
thing.
this, even though we've seen it come out, it has no
Yeah.
expiration date. We've
You
seen
have
people being
money like
taken
that.
down.
Hmm.
Yeah, especially when I have money and
Money,
I
power,
have
and
fame.
influence. Hmm.
I'm just thinking to myself, do I really think that none of this would ever come out
They do
or
because
come back to bite me in the butt some type of way?
absolutely they do because I'm sure Diddy has paid off a lot of these people where he just feels like
Yeah.
if I pay them off, I get you on a song, I let you produce my album, you ain't gonna say
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to work with me. I'm Diddy,
And
you
probably
know.
because I have a lot of money, I can make you go away. Like how he
Period.
blew up dude's car for Cassie, who she was like apparently in a relationship with or something. Like I could be a bully
Girl.
or whatever. So maybe, yeah, I get it, but it's still just like is that
Jaded.
really what you even want to deal with? Like, really,
Jaded.
and I don't think people think about that. Even us small people, I'm not even talking about big names with money, even us small time people, not small people, but us people that are not in the public eye. Whatever you do, a lot of times, it may not come back to get you right away. Hell, it may not even come back around in the way that you dished it, right? Things have a funny way of spinning the block. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Karma's
It's
real.
just the way of life. It's just the way of life. And like I said, I feel two ways about it. I feel like I justice is being served, especially for these victims who have legitimate cases, have legitimate experiences, and I want justice for that. On the other end of it, I do feel very disheartened by it just because, again, it's another big name being taken down. Again, of many other ones that we've seen, but it's like twofold. Stop being a creep, but because you've been a creep, these are your consequences. And here we are. Here we are. Now what's going to happen is everybody's got to erase decades and decades of Diddy era. If found guilty, because you made all of these decisions to do and move in the way that you moved, was it worth it? How do you think this will impact his kids? If he's found guilty of whatever, like, do you think like,
Well, this is a civil case, so there's really no like guilty or
oh,
whatever. It's
okay,
gonna be
okay,
like he's gonna pay the
gotcha,
money or he's not
okay,
gonna pay the money.
okay,
Um, but I think they've already kind of been impacted where they're kind of just distancing themselves a little bit. Um, and I think they'll probably just try to reinvent themselves, try
okay.
to stay away from it, um, as much as they
So
can.
you think life will just pretty much it'll go away for like it's not really going to be like too much on their
No, I mean, you
uh
can't help it, what your
sleeves.
daddy did. You just better hope none of that shit comes back on you. Because I did hear that I didn't see in the court documents that his son, not Justin, I think not Christian, it may actually be Justin,
I
but
think it was Justin. I saw
yes,
Justin make a statement on Shade Room.
Justin was drug into that lawsuit in some way somehow. I didn't get to that part. I don't know how he's
Okay.
involved. I think they may have said the producer may have been his friend that was
Okay.
working for Diddy. So I'm not
Okay.
100% sure on that, but
Okay.
I think they're just going to try to distance themselves. If they're smart, they wouldn't speak on it. Just let the lawyer speak on it for you.
Amen.
Yep, but
Well, to be
stay
continued.
tuned, yeah, because it's going to unravel. It's going to keep unraveling.
And 50 Cent is not making it easy because he was the first one this morning when I opened up my Instagram. He was like, oh my gosh, I am just flabbergasted by this news. And of course, it's Diddy is being accused of being gay with being sexual assault with another male. I'm just like, 50 Cent, you just never want to be on his bad side.
But see, 50 Cent's one of the celebrities who already said that Diddy tried to get him to party with him and to take him shopping. And he was like, nigga, I don't need you to take me shopping. Like, weird stuff like that.
But you know what? I will say this 50 Cent better make sure he has super squeaky clean pass because as he finds enjoyment from blasting all these other celebrities and stuff
Mhm.
and puts them on Front Street and it's entertainment, it's ha 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 for him. I'm just saying, you better
I
make sure that,
honestly, I honestly think he does. I think more of his stuff is so transparent because he puts it on display. Like when he had that thing with his son and his son was coming at him saying he was a deadbeat or whatever, he was like, yeah, I wasn't there for you because so and so and so and so. Like he doesn't
yeah,
hide it. So
yeah.
I think that's
Hopefully,
why he
hopefully
talks so
not. Like I
much.
said,
Yeah, we'll
listen,
see. We'll see.
yeah,
I,
I don't
I
put
don't
anything
want
past
the
nobody.
power universe to go down in shambles. Please. I do not need
Oh,
the power
girl.
universe to go down in shambles because
Girl,
Raising Canaan
we
is
love you,
good.
50. We definitely love you, and what you've been
BMF about to
creating
come
has been
out.
hot.
Hmm.
Oh, he does have a lot. He has a lot.
Girl,
Okay,
I
yeah.
love these
Let's
shows.
move
Okay.
on. Let's not even
All
speak
right.
that into
Moving
existence.
on very quickly, talking about another celebrity's downfall. Unfortunately, we got to mention Wendy Williams, who's been
Mm-hmm.
trending because of her recent diagnosis with alcoholism induced dementia. And there's been a documentary that's come out. Her family I guess they signed off on this documentary. I did not watch it. I saw the clips, and that was like enough for me. Um, I don't like what I'm seeing. So I feel
I watched
very
it.
sad. The clips are sad enough for me, and I'm just, I'm pregnant, I'm super emotional. I didn't want to watch that. But it's just sad. I don't see how she went so quickly down. I don't know a lot
Mhm,
about alcoholism induced dementia, but I know regular dementia, and it's a gradual thing that happens. So the fact she so quickly has like kind of lost it and looks like she's out of it and she's not calling her family members the right names, and it's disturbing to me. And
mhm,
I don't really know the point of the documentary because I just feel like I don't know if Wendy Williams would want everyone to see this side of her like that. Because a
mhm,
lot of people have said like, oh, this is what you get for talking bad about people for years, which is just
mhm,
like, y'all, that was her job. She was a gossip
mhm,
blogger before blogging even started. Like she was the queen of
mhm,
blogging. So it's just
mhm,
like
mhm.
to curse someone in that way because this was their job for entertainment that we all tuned in for is bullshit.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel really
Mhm,
bad for Wendy, and I just wish it
mhm.
wasn't so serious and severe as it is because I don't think there's no coming back from this, and it's just sad.
It's very sad, and I did watch it. I don't know how many parts there are. I watched episode 1 and episode 2. Again, I don't know if that's
Hmm.
it or because some of the clips I saw on social media were not included in 1 and 2 that I saw. So I don't
Right.
know where those
They said it's
were
four
taken
total.
from. Is there 4? Okay, so I'm missing
Yeah.
2. Um, what I saw was incredibly hard to watch. Just, I mean, everybody knows and has been essentially saying the same thing. It's incredibly hard to watch Wendy at this day. I mean, even from just like her eyes bulging out of her head from, I think she has Graves' disease. And again, I don't know how that affects the body and all that, but it was just incredibly hard to watch. And just even her talking bad to the people around her, calling them fat and saying they need liposuction and go do this. You're stupid. I mean, literally, she was getting her nails done and she's like,
Oh
oh,
man.
you have kids? She's like, yeah, I want one kid. Oh, you want to be married? Yeah, I want to be married. And then she
Hmm.
was like, oh, okay. She was like, are you stupid? I mean, it would just like be a
Wow, it's a
switch.
switch.
And it was just like, wow. And so, I was listening to Charlemagne on The Breakfast Club, and he was mentioning, like, he had a long history with Wendy Williams, like,
Yeah.
long history. It's no secret that she is the reason he says that he is Charlemagne today.
Yeah.
Um,
She put him on, I
but
think.
put him on and all of that. He never could stand Kevin or whatever her ex-husband's name was. He never could stand him. That was the real beef between why Charlemagne and Wendy are no longer, was mainly because of the manager, which was her ex-husband. But anyway, he
Mm-mm-mm.
was saying um to know Whitney, old Whitney, and work with Whitney, it would be no secret if she would be like, you're stupid, shut up, close my door, get out, you're fat, So apparently those he was seeing some of the same things that she was doing before. But again, it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. It wasn't, because he was like, yeah, I mean, I laughed at those parts when she was like, you're stupid. And I'm thinking like, it wasn't funny. It wasn't
Uh-uh.
funny. And it was really disheartening. And what I do know is that she had a 3-part deal with Lifetime prior to her being diagnosed in like the downward spiral, because as we know, she did release the Lifetime movie a couple years ago, the Wendy Williams movie, and then
Yeah.
she did some other documentary online. So this would have been her 3rd part to complete
The deal.
her deal. Prior to her getting sick, she had a 3-part deal with Lifetime. Uh however, I still don't understand the lens from the way in which this was shot. I feel like they still could have completed a deal and done a documentary to a certain degree without it being this way. Like it feels
Thank
very
you.
intrusive. It feels very
Invasive. Like,
intrusive, evasive. It feels very careless. It doesn't feel
yeah.
like, where's the care here? I mean, I get people were talking about like,
Yeah.
oh, that's my aunt. That's my aunt. We love her. We don't understand. Like, yeah, but come on. Whitney
Protect
looks
her
a hot
image.
mess.
Wendy.
Protect her image.
Yeah.
Another great example, Barbara Walters. She had dementia. And did we ever see a documentary on Barbara Walters and her dementia? No, people left Barbara Walters the way that she was, and the remembering of Barbara Walters and whatever way we
Yeah.
remember her is that of what she was.
Yeah, it's
Not,
more like a circus act now. Like I don't want to
yeah,
see just how they're showing it because of course social media is going to take the crazy clips and put them out
the
there,
craziest
and
clips.
it's like we don't.
Absolutely.
Why not just do a documentary on her come up? Why not just do a documentary of how
Exactly.
she rose to fame, you know, and not focus on her downfall? It's just
Exactly.
I
So
don't
I
like
don't know.
it.
I'll probably end up watching the last two. But it was really hard. I don't know if I really will watch it, but
Yeah,
it was a mess. It was a mess. Wendy
yeah,
is not there. Clearly, I mean, and then to even speak on like how, I mean, she did go down rather quickly. It felt as though,
super quick.
for me, in my opinion, ever since the news broke out about the baby with Sharina, and her ex-husband, it just
Hmm.
went down. It was no secret this man was out faluting with all these women and one woman and two women and flirting and having affairs. That's been the word for years. That
Yeah,
really didn't impact Whitney from a public view.
you
Up
keep saying
until
Whitney.
Wendy, Jesus Lord, thank you for correcting me. Oh my gosh. Wendy, that really didn't impact her, in my opinion, from a public perspective until it was released that this man has a baby. And not only did he have a baby, the baby's here.
Yeah.
After that news broke, Wendy then fainted on national
Yep.
television. She then was rushed. She then, was rushed off somewhere to a rehab facility, came back on the show, made an announcement to the public that she was staying at some house. And then it just kind of it just went. And it
Yeah.
never quite got back. And I
Nope.
really feel like that news shattered, or I can't say it was the only thing, but I feel like that was the pivotal point that we saw from the outside looking in, where things just dived and they never came back up. And it's the classic case of, to me, when you are in situations, and let this be a lesson. If you're in a stressful job, if you are dealing with stress in ways in which it's impacting your health, stress is one of the number one killers. Period. It will take you down through there. It will create autoimmune diseases. It can just take you out of here completely. So everybody has a different threshold of stress. And but if you're in a situation where you are like, you know what, and it's your breaking point, I advise you strongly to try to get out of it if you can, because it's just not worth it. Looking back, I know she's like, well, when she was in her right mind, you know. But then again, Wendy has always been on, I believe, like cocaine. She struggled with cocaine for years. I feel like she struggled with alcohol for years, because they were saying her son, it was like, he was like, no, she can't do alcohol, like, ever. Like, he was very adamant about that. The one thing that people were saying about her ex-husband, his role, he made sure she showed up to her job, and he made sure she showed up sober. And I'm like, yeah, well, he's getting a check for it. As long as she can continue to be Wendy, it's almost kind of like, do I feel like, okay, he cared about her because he made sure she was sober and went to work? That's debatable. But you're also benefiting from her showing up to work in her right mind. So, but are you helping her behind the scenes where it counts?
It's just a mess. That alcohol is no joke though. Like
And
I I
alcohol,
didn't even know it could do that.
I've seen firsthand what alcohol can do. I never knew alcohol could, before I have seen what it can do to people. Like, people, we have some people in our family, well, close family, friends of family, and they were strung out. They were battling with alcoholism, and they looked worse than a crackhead. I'm not even
Yeah.
joking.
I didn't know how
I'm not joking.
bad I didn't know how bad
I'm
it
not
can
even joking.
mess up your health, like with dementia. I had no idea alcohol could induce dementia. And I mean, I know liver issues. I know people's livers have failed because of alcohol, but dementia? That's
And just
crazy.
even physically though, even like the two people that I know and that are close to us, like, they just look so old. They're like 40 and they
Yeah.
look 75.
Ooh, God bless
It's so
people with
scary to look at
alcoholism.
that.
Yeah, I can't even really drink alcohol. Like even before I got pregnant, I was just like, I'm such a lightweight that I'm just like, once I do get really drunk, I don't want to drink again for like months. So I'm just like,
I
I don't
know.
know how people do it.
I
Oh
know.
man.
I know. I'm
But
the same way.
God bless Wendy
God
Williams.
bless Wendy. God bless Wendy.
Yeah, because
God bless
I
her.
enjoyed her show. I enjoyed there's nobody on television like her. None of these bloggers are like her. She just was very matter of fact, and she would have a field day with all the shit that's
Tell
going
it
on
like you
right
mean
now.
it.
Man, I would
As you
love to
do
see
it.
her cover like Diddy and just everything. It's so much shit to cover, but shout
She
out to
was reading a
her.
magazine. She was reading a magazine and it was like, one of those magazines that was in the public eye, the tabloid magazines, and she just lit up. They were like, do you miss reading those magazines? She was like, I do. She's like, I just get, yeah, it was just good to see like, it's almost kind of like she's
Sad.
stuck in her body and not, you know,
It don't sit right with me. I just don't like how quickly it happened. It's just something's weird about it, but
yeah,
who knows? God bless her.
who knows? To be
Um,
continued.
Yeah, to be continued. So we only have like 5 minutes left. I do want to touch really quickly on all the reality show drama that's happening right now. So,
Yeah.
just start off with Porsha. We all know Porsha Williams, aka Porsha Gubadia. She announced that she's divorcing her husband Simon, whom she met through a fellow co-star on Housewives a few years back. They got married. It was a big controversial deal, and now she's divorcing him, apparently. Um, she filed for divorce. We don't know if she's going to go through with it or what, but something's fishy about the whole situation to me. Um, she announced that she's coming back to Housewives after being gone for 2 years, and she said that she was coming back as Portia Gubadia. And then about a week later, she filed for divorce. Now, she was just in Dubai with her husband, Simon, for Valentine's Day. They looked like they were living it up on a yacht. Um, Apparently, there's been some sort of yacht scam that they were running that somebody has just filed them with a lawsuit with. So I'm not sure if Portia tried to distance herself from maybe that scam lawsuit by divorcing him. We also heard Simon got denied, I guess, a visa or,
Citizenship.
yeah,
Or,
citizenship to
yeah.
stay in America. So we don't know if this has anything to do with it. It's just a bunch of rumors circulating. But all I can say is I knew that she would not stay with him for long, but
Yeah.
it hasn't even been 2 years. So
No.
I was just like, this is sudden. But yeah, something tells me we gotta keep our eye on this because more stuff will be unraveling about this whole situation.
Portia, speculations have been, first of all, you weren't surprised that this happened.
No,
As far as like the divorce. I feel like I think in some of our earlier episodes when we talked about Simon
mm,
and Portia, I never thought it was gonna last, if I'm honest. I just
never,
never did. I never thought it was
never.
gonna last. I wasn't quite sure what the motives were at the time. But am I shocked about this news? No. Am I shocked at it's happening right now a little bit just because literally she just came out days prior saying Portia Williams is not returning, but Portia Guabadia is returning. So
Yeah,
I'm a little shocked at the timing,
it's the
anyways,
timing.
because it just felt like, well, you girl, and then apparently they were just on a boat or yacht
Yeah,
and like days before. So what makes me curious is like speculation, like you said, like, okay, is it because she's getting back on the show? Or is this truly legitimate and there's something that came out? Because something had to have happened big enough within a few days.
I think it's definitely no coincidence about the whole citizenship thing.
Okay.
So either she was holding on to marrying him to see if he would get his citizenship, and then once it was
Okay.
denied, there are some allegations though that the reason he's being denied is because there are some federal investigations that may be having to take place with him. So
Yes.
he has some like shady business practices in Atlanta
Yes.
that people have been talking about since forever. Um, and this is a speculation that Porsha may have knowledge that the reason his citizenship was denied was because the feds will now be investigating him. So she wants to distance himself from her, from him, basically saying, I didn't know anything about his illegal activities, and once I found out, I divorced him. So
Mm.
we don't know. Um, I know Porsha, as innocent as she may seem, and she gives off this damsel in distress. Porsha's smart. Porsha knows what she's doing.
Porsha.
She's very calculating, very calculated, and I don't think it's any coincidence that this is all happening. And then she's going back on Housewives. I don't think so.
She is very smart.
Very, very smart.
And
And
she knew, and I mean, think about it. This is not going to hurt. This is only going to boost up ratings for Bravo because everybody's going to want
oh
to
yeah,
tune in to get the tea.
yeah. And Porsha has always been bringing those ratings anyway. She always has like a lot of
And she's
drama going
probably
on.
not going to be honest. I mean, think about it. She's probably going to say something. Oh, it's going through litigation. I can't say too much about that. You know
Yep.
how they do.
Yep.
The very thing we want to tune in for, they can't really disclose that kind of information at this time.
Girl,
It's
it's
like,
the same.
girl,
It's just like Ashley on on Housewives of Potomac. They
yeah,
kept
she's
asking
still
her, she's
talking
like,
about
I
she
can't
can't
talk about
disclose. I can't
that.
go into that. Oh
The
my gosh,
lawsuit.
girl,
It's a
girl. It's
so
just like it's been going on for like 3 years at this point. Like, please.
so
Which I
we
did catch up to that.
ugh, girl, Housewives of Potomac is a mess. It's like nothing going on really. Um Now
Mm-mm.
Married to Medicine. There's some tea with Married to Medicine.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
I don't know
Let's
if you
talk about it.
have you caught the last episode?
I caught the last episode.
Okay. So if you recall in the last episode, they had this Med Gala in Atlanta. It's like a
Mhm.
play on the Met
Met
Gala.
Gala.
And apparently, they asked all of the co stars of the show to donate money to the cause for the gala, and that would allow them to sponsor their products or whatever at the event. And so apparently, Toya and Eugene said that they weren't going to give money, they were going to instead provide free wine for everyone at the event, like $1,500 worth of wine or whatever. And so it was a big deal to Heavenly, Dr. Heavenly, and I think Dr. Simone. They were like, oh, she's being cheap. She's not donating. Don't put your stuff up at this event because you didn't donate anything. And so apparently, um, that drama that had leaked from the show spilled on social media because Sweet Tea went to Instagram and blasted Heavenly for basically announcing at the event that you know, what's her name? Toya didn't pay for sponsoring. She was like, she basically was like, Heavenly, that was very ghetto of you to announce that. It was very, just cheap. It was a cheap shot and that wasn't everyone's business or whatever. And so Heavenly comes back and basically was like, worry about your man. He's a pedophile. He's all this. Like,
Damn.
yeah, they've been going back and forth on social media. And the big thing here is that she called I forget who he's married to. Dr. Greg, the one that was formerly married to Quad. I think he's
Hmm.
about 20 years older than Sweet Tea. So
Yeah.
she was like, when you were in fifth grade, your man was 33 years old or something like that. And she was like, hashtag pedophile. so and so people been going off on her, and she ended up going back and changing her hashtag. She took away the pedophile hashtag. But now there's speculation that Dr. Greg may be trying to sue her
I
for
would.
defamation and all this stuff.
I would. You
Yeah, girl.
you have to listen. The thing that I don't like about so if we're taking this particular example, the thing that I don't like about these shows in especially this group, that if you have an issue with me, attack me. Don't attack my man. Because if my
Mhm.
man had an issue with your man and then he attacks his wife, there's gonna be an issue there.
Exactly.
Keep it between us. And
Mhm.
for whatever reason, and I get it, you want to hit below the belt. A dig is a dig. You want to dig deeper. You go low. I go to hell. You know what I mean? So it's like I get that, but at the same time, on the other side of that, you've got to be really careful with the way in which you say certain things and what you put labels on.
Yeah.
That man has a medical degree,
Yep. A
years and years
practice.
and years and
Yep.
years and years of practice in his practice, and you want to sit up here and throw out a slanderous term such as pedophile
Yeah.
when you have no basis as to other than the fact that I am in my 30s
Mm-hmm.
and I'm married to a man. Yeah, okay. What does that have to do with the cost of tea in China?
Exactly.
So my thing is, Heavenly, she gets on my nerve because she's always like, she pissed me off when it came. She pissed me off a few different times with the whole
Mm-hmm.
quad situation because I feel like she spearheaded that. Then the whole second thing, I felt like she found enjoyment in that. The
She
second
does.
time that she pissed me off was when the whole episode, when they went out of town to Hilton Head,
Mm-hmm.
and she kept getting in Simone's face about,
Dr.
Jackie
Jackie,
and all of
yeah.
that and trying to be deliberate and inviting her. And I'm just like, who are you? Okay, you
Period.
can, as a friend, you can speak your piece, but she just kept the shit going. She
It's
just
like
kept the shit going.
it was coming
It
off like
was like,
she had something going on with Dr. Jackie because I'm like, why are you going so hard for her right
why are
now?
you on? I mean, it just never left. I mean,
I
it's like,
know.
okay, girl, we get it. Like, okay, why is it at Phaedra's son's birthday party? Why is it back at the house? Why
Yeah,
are we actually now at the place in which everybody decided to come to and you still got an issue? Like, let that shit go. Like, if Jackie's cool, to me, I felt like it made it worse. Like
exactly.
you made it worse than her just being like, no, thank you. I think I'm gonna sit this one out. Okay.
Yeah,
But I can't believe you, Jackie, da da da, you like. I feel like that probably made
girl.
Jackie and not Kurt. Is it Curtis who she's married
Curtis.
to? Curtis,
Hmm.
Jackie and Curtis. I feel like it made them have to relive some things that
Yeah,
they tried to bury because you just keep bringing up that man took another woman out of town to Hilton Head and slept with her. Like,
girl,
chill. Like,
chill.
you don't have to we all know the details. Chill, okay?
It's
It
just
just
like
she
it's
made
really
me
ridiculous. Like the man cheated. He
so
probably
over
cheated in
her.
Atlanta too. Like he just didn't get caught in Atlanta. Like what you gonna leave Atlanta because he cheated in Atlanta? It's silly. Like it's really
It's
ridiculous.
silly. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. And like, she just bothers the fuck out of me. I feel like Heavenly has not had her opportunity yet to where somebody's really come for her and put her in her
Yeah.
place. I mean, to the
She
point where she
needs
just
to
shuts the fuck
be.
up.
She needs
She needs
to.
somebody, she needs to be her match because I really can do without her in like another season. I feel
She's
like,
so
you know how
extra,
people just talk and talk and talk and they don't really be saying nothing. It's like that annoying.
girl.
You like smack a gnat and you're like, where's that noise coming from? Turn that shit off. That's how I label her.
And
She's a
if I
mean
have to sit up
girl.
here and hear daddy one more time, right,
If
daddy?
I have to, and I
Right,
love her
daddy?
husband. Her husband is so cool. Like he be so
Shut up.
chill. He be so laid back.
He be
Like
looking at her
I be
like
like, and I know he be looking at her. I really know he be now. I do know he probably checks her behind the scenes.
behind
Like
closed
he just
doors,
be giving
yeah.
her that look. Like I'd be like, yeah, that's her. That yeah, he gonna say his piece. He ain't gonna check her in front of you, all y'all. But he's gonna, you know what I'm saying? She needs that, but she also needs to be talked funky to in public as well
She does. I
because
mean,
she
I like that Simone
does too
stood her
much.
ground with her. Simone
Hell
stood her ground
yeah.
with her. Like, let it go. Like, who are you? But
How?
yeah,
My thing is Jackie's here now.
yeah. And I don't understand why
Hey
Jackie's let her go
Curtis.
on and on about it. Like, I'm just like, you should have checked her and been like, look, I got this. It's cool. Stop it. Like, you're doing
I'm
too
turned
much.
off. I'm just irritated with Jackie. I was actually because I didn't watch that last episode when we were on the last episode of the podcast. And you were mentioning the previous episode in Married
Yeah.
to Medicine
Hmm.
about how sweet he was like, "Fuck you, bitch." You know that. I was like,
Sweet tea is so funny.
"Ooh, okay." And now I didn't like how Sweet Tea didn't really stand on what she said. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it's cool for you to apologize. It was just like, oh, do you think she's gonna forgive? Like, I'm like, girl.
Because everybody came at her after, like, do you know Jackie runs the show? And I'm sure that's what happened because the way she
Ugh,
came
I'm just
crying the
like,
next day, I was just like,
girl, you said what you said.
Sure
And although
did.
you may not have necessarily meant to, say those words, it is what it is. You still you need to stand on the fact, no, it's okay for you to be in everybody else's business, say your piece and
Hmm.
all this. When it comes to you, it's everybody's got to handle you with white gloves.
Yeah.
No, it don't work like that,
Well,
unfortunately.
I'm glad she at least got Jackie to admit that like she was being mean because she was like, yeah, we were
Yeah,
being mean fifth graders or
yeah,
kindergartners, and I'm like,
for sure.
good. At least you can admit that, and y'all need to do that with Quad too because y'all were being very
I can't wait to see this reunion.
rude
I
to
need this
her.
reunion because I know there's going to be questions about the whole quad situation.
Hmm.
And, people are probably going to ask, the viewers are going to ask, viewers have been saying you guys were mean girls to quad. Like, I want to know because
Yeah.
I want to write a question because I just think y'all are messed up for that. It was a complete mean girl. Y'all didn't even have to invite her on the trip if y'all
It's
was
so
just going to send her
stupid.
back home.
It was production. Production made her come on the
I
trip,
get it, but it's
and then
still just
they
like
sent
y'all.
her out. It's just stupid. And I honestly
This is
don't
why I
think,
only have.
girl, right, a handful of friends. But I don't even feel like production should allow that because it's like you're in the show because production chose you. Casting chose you for the show. Fuck y'all.
Yeah,
If y'all don't want to film with me, that's one thing. But if I'm invited out here on a trip for the cast members, you shouldn't have the authority to kick me off the trip.
right.
Because if I was
I would
caught,
have
I
been
would
like,
be
okay,
like,
y'all.
I'll be in my
Okay, well, I
room,
will
like,
be at this other resort. Well, I'd be like, all
I'm
right, well,
going to the
I'm going
next
to be at
hotel.
this other resort.
Thank you.
Um, if y'all, see you when I see you, but I'm very much still in Napa,
Yeah, I'm
you
not
know,
flying back to
down the
Atlanta because
street.
you tell me to. It's ridiculous.
And nobody even paid for that trip. Production paid for that trip. So
Yeah. The same Mean Girl shit is happening on Housewives of Potomac, and I'm just like, it's looking like a fucking light skinned girl clique versus Wendy and Candace, and I'm just like, this is just so silly, man. Like,
it's been kind of hard for me to watch that show. And I
it's
love Potomac.
stupid.
I love Potomac, but now it's turning into
It got dumb.
just yeah. I'm just like, what are we even talking about?
It got dumb.
What's going on? I'm like, what's going on?
All
Like,
these
bring
shows
back
are
the
going
husbands at
down.
this point.
I know. Oh, did you see that Apollo was on? Apollo's gonna be on the reunion to Married to Medicine, and I was like,
For
Married to
why?
Medicine with Phaedra.
Why? I wonder
That's
why.
what I'm trying to. I'm like, are they getting back together because he wasn't
Isn't
on
he
the
married?
show? Bro, I
Isn't
don't
he like? Didn't he
know.
remarry or something to that one girl?
He
I
wasn't
don't
in
know.
one episode, but Andy was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Welcome Apollo Nida," and Apollo comes out, with like this big beard, and Phaedra was just looking up in the air, like,
He's so fine. He's still fine.
yeah,
I don't even like light skinned dudes like that, but he's fine.
he's giving jailbird.
Girl.
But yeah, that's interesting. I want to see what this reunion's talking about. And I also want to see
Yeah.
how they're going to shake up Atlanta Housewives because, I mean, we know Candy's not coming back. Porscha
Yeah.
signed on. Um,
Yeah.
I personally feel like the reason Candy is not coming is because Phaedra's coming on. So I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
Phaedra's coming on as a friend to Porscha, maybe a friend of the show or a full cast member, but I do think that's the reason that she's not coming back. Candy decided she's not coming back. A lot of people on our YouTube and Instagram is like, no, that's not the reason. She wouldn't lie. But I'm like, y'all gonna
Mm-hmm.
see. Cause she said a long time ago, if Phaedra films on this show, I'm not gonna film on the show. And I think they
Yeah.
refused to bring Phaedra back after that whole scandal happened,
Mm-hmm.
with them accusing Candy of sexual abuse or whatever. And I think now it's been like 6 or 7 years since that's happened. Ratings have fallen, and I think they're like,
Yeah.
I think they tested Phaedra with the audience on Married to Medicine, and I think they're gonna
Yeah.
slowly ease her back into Housewives.
Yeah. I'm
So
I can do without Candy. I'm actually excited that she won't be back.
she didn't really have a
I think
storyline.
she's milked it. Well, I think she milked it for what she could. She's a business person. We all knew that. Candy,
Yeah,
out of all the housewives, she had probably the most money from a female standpoint on her own without being attached to,
and
and
that's what
she
I
milked
liked
it for her
about her.
businesses.
But that's
It's
what I
great.
like
Yeah.
because none of these
Mm-hmm.
other wives are giving wealth. They're just not giving it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, the ones who
Yeah.
are wives, but nobody's giving wealth
Yeah.
to me. Candy was actually
Yeah.
giving wealth.
Well,
Um,
Candy, she joined with Wealth. She joined. She was meaning like before Housewives, she had her own thing. Like a lot of these women, they're now in, not without Cynthia too in Kenya, but for most of the Housewives, they the show has kind of propelled them upward and
Mm-hmm.
upward way, and even some of the husbands like Peter Thomas, from just being attached to the show and the businesses and highlights and all that. But Candy definitely came in with a bag, and we've always said it. All the viewers are like, "Yep, Candy's got," and she's always positioned herself to keep the bag in the front, like whether it
Yeah.
was bedroom Candy, her plays. I mean, we know tardy for the party. She's
Yeah.
always making money.
That was my
She's
favorite
always
part
got
about
something
her
going
being
on.
on the show is that she's
Yeah,
always doing something. She was on the freaking Broadway. She just was on Broadway, got a Tony.
Broadway.
It's just,
Yep.
the
She
other
always had something going
housewives,
on.
they try to do it, but they can't do it. Like she by Sheree and,
The only thing with Candy though is she can't like carry a show, like she kind of has to be one of the friends, because like when they tried to do the shows with her and stuff, like they just didn't. Nobody really just. I loved her family more than I really tuned in for her, like her
yeah,
aunts and stuff, and
her
they were
mama.
hilarious. Yeah, I loved all that. But like I said, mad kudos to Candy. I just think the time is up
Mm-hmm.
for her. As far as like she can do something else, you don't have to. It's
Yeah.
just run its course. You can still come back and be a friend of the show. I do think that Marlo does not need a peach.
Yeah.
I think she needs to go back to being a friend of the show.
She got fired.
Oh, did she? Okay.
She announced she won't
Yeah,
be
I
on the
just think
show.
love her, but I liked her better as a friend of the
I
show.
think the only ones coming back is Kenya.
Okay.
I think Kenya's the only one coming
Okay.
back. Maybe Drew, but Sonya got released. Marlo got released. I'm surprised Sonya stayed on there as long as she did because she was so
As long as
boring.
she did.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was super boring. Um, so we'll
Hmm.
see. I
Okay.
actually wouldn't be mad
We'll
at that
see.
girl. What's her name? Toya? Remember the girl that was
Oh,
on? She wasn't.
she was messy.
She was messy. I wouldn't be mad at her.
Yeah, she
Uh,
was. No, she was messy. I saw something, a clip of her on like YouTube or something. I was like, oh, that's I think her name, yeah, I think it's Toya.
she just had a
But
baby.
yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
So we'll see.
Well,
I
I did want to discuss one thing before we get off, which was
okay.
Culpa, Mia Culpa, the movie with Tyler Perry that just came out with Kelly Rowland
Oh yeah, on Netflix.
on
I didn't
Netflix.
see it yet.
You hadn't seen it yet. Please
Mm-mm.
watch it. You can get some downtime. I was really excited for the trailer. I had seen it like 3 weeks prior, and I was like, "Oh!" I was like, Kelly Rowland looks like. I mean, the acting looked good.
She's
The
a good
wigs
actress.
looked great. She's the actress. She's the main actress. She's the
Oh,
main. She's the lead.
I'm saying
Kelly Rowland.
is she good? She good?
She was great. She was great. She was great. She was really
Oh,
good. She was really good. And I knew she would be just from the trailer, just from
okay.
the 2 minute clip I saw. I was, it was enough for me to be like, okay, I believe whatever she's giving.
Okay.
Um now I I hate to say it, if I had to give the movie, rate the movie from 1 to 5, 5 being like Oscar worthy, I really give the movie like a 2 point. Oh my gosh, I'm
Okay.
being really nice. 5. I give it a
Okay.
2.5, and here's why. Here's
So why should I
why.
watch it?
Well, it's a black movie, Tyler
Okay.
Perry, Kelly Rowland, black actors, so just support. But again, I don't want to lead with the negative. So the highlights of the movie that I really enjoyed was the acting. The acting was pretty good from Kelly Rowland and like some of the other characters. There were some characters where I was like, oh, they could have picked a better actor. But
Uh-huh.
generally speaking, it was well produced. It was beautifully shot.
Okay.
The wardrobes were amazing. Kelly clearly used her own team for wig styling and all of that.
She was
You
not
know
going to
how
be
we
set up
feel
by
up,
Tyler Perry.
baby.
Okay.
You know how we feel about a Tyler Perry wig film. We're like, why? Why
Why
did
is
you
the
go to the hair
microphone
store?
why is the microphone hanging out my wig like this?
We're tired. You
I'm
are in
sorry.
Atlanta, out of all places, ATL for hair. But anyway, you clearly could tell part of this production was Kelly Rowland having her own team, and they did not fail her at
Good.
all.
Good.
Clothing, wardrobe, hair, all that. She just looked beautiful. Now,
So what
as
about
far
the
as
plot?
as far as all of that, I just feel like with Tyler, here's what I really wish. I feel
Oh
like I
Lord.
wish that Tyler would include other writers. I really want him to include some other people
So it's something we've seen
because
before. He's still writing every word of his scripts by
it's
himself.
like, well, it gives the illusion of like, like a long run-on sentence.
Girl. Yeah.
And you're like, and then it's like, I feel like he just starts writing and writing and writing. And then he's like, oh crap, we need an ending. That's how it's going to end. Do you know what, like, so it's just like, it was so many, there was no real character development. I wish it was shot in more places other than the loft in a house in a street. I
Uh,
wish there was I wish there
it was
was
probably
character development.
low.
I wish the plot thickened. I wish that it grew outside of the what we just saw. Like it had so much room to grow and it stayed right here and it was
Yeah.
very frustrating. It was
That's
very
because,
frustrating.
you know why? That's because at heart, Tyler Perry is a playwright. He's a playwright. At heart, that's where he
Mm-hmm.
started
At
from.
heart.
Plays have
Yeah.
one or two scenes, one or two
Yeah.
backgrounds. That's
Yeah.
it. It's very concise. And it's like he has
Yeah.
great ideas. Some of these movies, like
Yeah.
Acrimony, Temptation, these are great
Family
ideas.
That Prays was really
Yeah,
good.
really good
Loved that
movies,
movie.
but they could be
Yeah.
excellent if he lets people write and play on his ideas. He could still have creative
Mm-hmm.
control, but he could still, like you
Yeah.
said, bring in a team of writers who make him think of a more,
Courtney Kemp. Courtney Kemp, who
yes,
does, I mean, that would have been a dope
Shonda
collaboration.
Rhimes. Shonda
Shonda
Rhimes.
Rhimes, dope collaboration.
Yeah.
I mean, you really could take this thing and make it a thing. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's my feedback. And I'm not too far off because I was reading the comments. I'm like, well, maybe I'm missing something. And I was reading
Girl.
the comments and everybody was going in on the same things.
But that's
You
how
know,
all of Tyler Perry stuff is. People watch it to
I know,
support, and it's like
I
it's
know,
good, but it ain't good. Like
I know.
it's good enough for us to watch, but it ain't, you're not
But it's
giving us
not,
masterpieces.
yeah.
And you've been in this game for 20 years. So it's like you should have elevated by now your writing, your development,
It's the
your
writing. The
plots.
writing. I don't care how beautiful people are. I don't care how well they're dressed and their wigs. The writing for me, because to me, you cannot have all of that, but the writing be so good. That's why a lot of people like
Yeah.
the Tubi. That's why a lot of people truthfully like those Tubi movies
Yeah.
because they're more invested in the storylines. Or I remember
And the
what was the have and the have nots? The have and the have nots. I never watched it. I watched only a little bit of it, but everybody around me was so invested in the have and the have nots, and I could not understand why. It was the writing. They said
okay.
it was it wasn't the acting because I was like the acting I can't get past the acting. They're like
Girl.
never mind all that. The writing was so good, and
That's
I'm
how I
thinking
feel about
like
Sisters, The
writing
Oval.
matters.
I can't watch none of
Yeah.
those shows. My mom loves them though.
Uh-uh.
So,
Yeah.
but oh, you
So
know
that's
what was
my two
good
cents.
on Netflix? I just watched
Hmm.
Griselda. That shit is so good.
I need to go back. I watched
Griselda's
it, but
good.
was I need to go back.
Griselda is good. Shout out to
Yeah, a
Sophia,
lot of people
whatever
love
her name
Griselda. A
is.
lot of people love it. That's why I watched it,
She
but
gonna get an
I
Oscar
watched
for
it
that.
when I was sleepy.
Griselda,
Yeah, you
so
couldn't even tell it was Sophia. What's her name?
Sophia
Sophia.
somebody, yeah, that Hispanic actress. But yeah, they had to do all types of prosthetics on her face to change her. They kind of they
Yeah,
tried to ugly her up, but they really couldn't. But
yeah.
oh my God, that show was so good. I wish it was
Tried
like
to ugly her up.
they tried to, girl.
Yeah,
Because the real
they tried to,
Griselda,
girl.
the real Griselda is looking like the lady who shot
Does she look like
Selena.
Griselda? She
She
looks
looked
like a
like
Griselda.
she looked like the lady who shot Selena. Yolanda.
Speaking of, she's supposed to be getting out. She's supposed to be up for parole.
Girl, she better stay in there if she know what's best for
Girl,
her.
the people have not forgot. People are still praising Selena and forever
People
will, as if
love
it just happened
Selena.
yesterday.
And I
Anything
would
for
not mess
Selena.
anything for Selena's. And I would not mess with these Hispanic gangs out here. Yolanda girl. And then apparently she got a documentary
Just
out.
saying.
She's doing press. I'm like, oh, she gonna find
Ooh,
out.
we. She,
She gonna fuck around and
mm.
find out. Ain't nobody
She's gonna
forgot
fuck
about
around and find
Selena.
out.
I'm heard about Selena, girl.
Still heard about Selena.
That was fucked up. I mean, I literally think about Selena all the time when I think about fake friends. I'm like, uh-uh, uh-uh. If I get a bad vibe, I gotta cut you
What?
off because I ain't having no
Yeah,
Yolandas around me. I'm not.
girl. We
I'm
already
not.
had, girl. You know, you and I can go a whole series on
Selena did
that
nothing. She
topic.
did nothing but try to help that lady, and that's and what she got was shot in the chest, in the back. She did nothing but she gave that lady
And
a
that's what people
job.
struggle with. Hmm. I think that's what people struggle with too, is like the notion behind I can do all the right things and still get
Yep.
shitted on,
Yep.
whereas it looks, or it may look like the people who live this alternate life, this evil life, bad, do bad things, and they're getting rewards. But don't worry about none of that. You just keep doing you. The minute you send some evil stuff, get it out. Don't harbor on
Yeah.
it. Be like, you know what they did was weird, and then keep doing. No, if it's
Yeah.
weird, you got to go. Like
Distance
girl, me and
yourself.
you, listen. If it's weird, you got to go. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to stay around and find out.
Yeah.
I'm moving different. You got to go. I don't need
Yeah.
to research why you're weird. We don't know how. We don't need to have a
Nope.
conversation about why you're weird.
Nope.
No,
And it
I'm
reminds
sorry.
me of the whole Shanquilla thing with Mexico. The
Oh,
poor
that was so
girl in
awful. That was
Shanquilla when
so
her
awful.
friends
That was
just
so
let her
sad.
die or they killed her or whatever they did in Mexico. And she paid
Oh,
for the
Wendy.
damn resort. She paid for that place and they killed her. That's not like you can't do nice shit for people who don't like you. It's just gonna make them despise you more. It's sick. Sick. Lord. But yeah, God bless everybody.
People are just people. Don't you think it's just people are just unhappy? People are just very unhappy people,
I
and
think, yeah,
I think a part of it too is like people
jealous.
don't know where they. People don't know like what. I feel like people don't know. I can't really even speak on this because I'm not this
Oh,
way.
it's deep. It goes deep.
Uh, But I feel like people just don't know what they want to do, who they want to be,
Mm-mm.
they just are miserable. Like, and society makes them even more miserable.
Yes,
Social media
social
adds a whole
media.
nother layer. Social media, before we even
Yes.
get to social media, this is how you're already feeling about yourself.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
then you log into a tool, which social media is
Yep.
very much supposed to just be a tool for you to use.
Yep.
Not the tool using you, but you use the tool,
Yeah.
and you then get off of that tool and you feel even more like crap
Yeah. Because
because of
you
whatever
compare
it is.
yourself to all of these perfected people. People are only putting out their best images on social media.
Their best
They're
images.
only talking about their accomplishments. They're only talking about their wins. They're only showing the nice dinner dates.
But
They're
think
not
about
showing the
this.
arguments. Like these are
But
perfect
what?
examples. Like stop looking at social media and comparing your life to that shit.
But here, I'll do you one better. We find out somebody's going through it, struggling. They're still talking shit. Why would
Yeah.
she do that? Why would she? Why? What? Would you rather her be perfect? Would you rather him be perfect? Would you rather see perfect stuff? No, the minute you get to see some shit and it's like blows up in flames, you're either happy about it because guess what? It makes you feel good about yourself, or you got something to say. So it's like people don't really know. People just don't know what to feel. It's
People
like,
just need to
damned if you
stop
do,
investing in social media.
damned
It's
if you
not
don't.
that deep. It's just not
It's
because
not that
it's
deep.
gonna drive you
It's
crazy.
surface level.
It is.
It's so surface.
Like
It's so surface.
we see Porsche on yachts with her husband living the best life.
3 days later,
People all
divorce.
jealous and shit, and 3 days later filing for divorce. Like you can't believe any of this shit. You just
You
can't.
can't.
Even the sob
Mm-mm.
stories. Somebody give you a sob story, and then you find out, oh, it was a scam for a GoFundMe. That shit ain't even happened to
Mm-hmm.
them. Like
Mm-hmm.
can't
Mm-hmm.
you can't be invested in it. You got to look at it like entertainment. That's it.
Have a goal. Have a goal. Work on your goal and move along.
Yeah,
That's all you can do.
seriously.
If you don't have a goal and you're invested in everybody else's goals and you're seeing them reach them and all that stuff, get you a goal.
Yeah,
Find you what makes you want to wake up
yeah.
and be happy and do that.
Got to. And I gotta say, I feel like Instagram has like it's just not the same. It's like
It's not.
everything seems kind of staged. Nothing really seems authentic anymore. Even like pictures and videos, it's like all regurgitated. It's like I
I think
mean,
too, because well, and to add to that, and I share in that same sentiment, I think the reason why is because if we remember which you and I do, but back when Instagram and Facebook and all of that was first created, it was
Yeah.
literally just us. It was us
Yeah.
and people being excited just to be able to, it was like almost like a 90s era when people were
Yeah.
just, when you look back at the 90s and you're like, dang, women were so simple, they were
I
so
know.
beautiful, they were so basic, they were so natural in whatever way that natural
Yeah.
looks. They had makeup, but I'm saying it wasn't as like done to
Wasn't
the
no
duns, right?
filters, wasn't
It
no
wasn't.
face
And
app.
so and so
You know?
now what we have now that we've had this tool for some time and it's taken on a rear of its ugly head and become all these different things, even when we got the video portion
Yeah,
of
I remember
Instagram,
that.
it was like excited just to have videos, just to take a video of you. Now we've got reels. Now we're hiring for the videographers. Now we're having, it's a production. It's, you can't even go on vacation,
I
you
know.
know, and I've been guilty of this. You can't even go
Bro,
on
we're all guilty
vacation
of
because you're
it.
like, it has to be, you don't want it to look weird. You don't want it, you want it to be like shot from your,
Girl, we was trying to
it's
find a
not
drone.
simple
We was trying to hire a drone person.
and still will for our next trip and still will, you know, and still will. We're saying all this, but yeah, no, this is the involvement of it. It was like we were just so happy to have a tool to see our friends and to share in that. Then it became, okay, filters. Okay, we don't want to look like ourselves on the photos.
It's
Then it
sad.
became, okay, well, we can do videos. Let's do videos. We can now share videos. Then it became, oh, we can have filters on videos. Then it became
Girl.
reels. Then it
Yep.
became, okay, well, let's hire videographers to create a 30-second reel that took an hour to shoot for
Yep.
10 seconds. What is going on?
Girl, I pray that a hacker comes and deletes everything by the time my child gets of age. I don't want this.
Yeah.
I don't want this
Disclaimer,
out.
please don't hack anything and make it go away until I get out of this real estate business. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, all the business pages can stay. Okay. But that's another thing though, and that's what people have been saying because even on YouTube, I meant to tell you this. A lot of people who have their businesses set up on these platforms like YouTube and Instagram, they have been saying that they have been developing their own websites and getting those followers over to their own websites because these platforms and their instability and just the idea that one day you can wake up and your page is demonetized, your page is deactivated, your page is deleted, like you don't have the control that you think you have with these
No, you don't.
platforms. So
Uh-uh.
they've been encouraging anyone who's making money on these platforms to create a space of your own that you own, that you can get,
Mm-hmm.
even get your people on a mailing list, get them on an email
Mm-hmm.
list, get them signed up,
Oh yeah, I
subscribed
have
to
all
your
that.
own, yeah, get them on your own
I have all
website.
that. Yeah,
But
yeah,
all that shit can go
for
away
sure.
tomorrow.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, think about even your banks, you know,
Girl.
money in the banks. I mean, this goes deeper than just
We already know they've been
me
hacking the banks
showing a
because
pretty face on Instagram and getting some money from it. This goes into how I eat. We had a
girl,
whole AT&T wipeout, you know,
yeah, Wells Fargo,
unfortunately I don't have AT&T. Yeah, Wells Fargo,
everybody's
AT&T. I
accounts
mean,
were like
these
zero.
they are saying that the next war is not going to be your physical. It's going to be a
No.
cyber attack.
Yeah, they've been practicing. Remember,
Yeah.
like a year ago, all the gas stations were shut down because nobody could get
Mm-hmm.
gas because they hacked into the gas
Yep.
stations. Like
Yep. Yep.
they
I do
control
remember that.
everything
Yep.
with computers. Everything's controlled. So
Girl,
pray for
it's
us.
insane. Pray for us. This has been amazing. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we hop off?
Girl, I think we done hit it all. And
Okay.
I'm so glad. So,
This was very impactful.
um,
We always seem to get it all in.
I know. Oh, the only other thing I want to talk about, we ain't got to, but have you seen the so
This was very impactful.
um
We always seem to get it all in.
I know. Oh, the only other thing I want to talk about, we ain't got to, but have you seen the Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
Oh, that Risa Tisa shit, girl. My homegirl Ashley told me, she's like, yo, you need to watch this, that. Girl, when I found out it was 50 parts, I
Girl,
got through part 3 and couldn't do it anymore.
girl. I got the Cliff Notes
It
from
wasn't
YouTube.
that addicting to me because, and I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't that addicting to. Well, first of all, set it up for the people who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, a lady who got scammed by a freaking scammer basically some guy that convinced her to let him move in with her and, acted as if he had all this money and shit. She got bamboozled by him. I didn't watch 50 parts. I didn't even watch one part. I went to YouTube, I got the cliff notes, and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not surprised. People lie every day, B, every day. So she was just a little bit gullible and desperate. And
Yep.
it's basically just a cautionary tale of don't be desperate because these men will come into your lives and ruin it. And yeah, they're gonna lie to get what they want out of you. And he lied about having houses and money and businesses, and he lied about everything. He lied, he was
Yeah.
pretending to talk to people on the phone he wasn't talking to, just all sorts of shit. And she moved him into her house within 2 weeks, got pregnant by him. Unfortunately, she had a miscarriage, but maybe fortunately she had a miscarriage. And then she found out everything he said was a complete lie. And now, in a turn of events, he's trying to sue her for her telling her story. So
Yeah.
he's a scammer.
Um, Dusty.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dusty, yep.
Dusty
And
sprinkled.
she was being a
Um,
pygmisha.
she admitted it.
Yeah.
She said I was desperate. And this is one of the things that I want women to understand is that one, the reason why I couldn't get through it is because I just can't even believe it got to the point of which in which it got to.
Me either.
Um, there are really great liars out here. He just
Yeah.
didn't seem in part two, which was like for me like 16 minutes. He just did not seem like a good liar.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out where he got her tripped up. I'm still trying to figure it. So then how it became 50 parts of this, I have no idea. But anyways, no
Yeah.
judgment.
I know he was like trying to get
Uh
a house with cash, but he didn't want to show he had the cash.
he's trying to get a couple houses. Like I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, and then they went to go like drive cars apparently, and they would always end up leaving the lot from BMW. They had to move to Audi. Once you take me to one dealership and I'm not driving off with anything, you cannot take me somewhere else, and I'm also not driving off with anything at that one too.
Yeah.
It just was so much. So here's the thing. I feel like with women, we are raised and taught to suffer. We participate in a lot of our own suffering. And it's unfortunate. It's all the things. I just want us to get better at being okay with waiting and speaking on the things that we want in life. And if that person that is supposed to be a part of you, whether it be marriage, lifelong partnership, whatever, if they can rise up to do that and help participate in that happy feeling that you're already happy with, great. If not, move along because it stooping down to these situations ultimately just to say I'm attached to somebody,
Right.
it just takes away years of your life that you'll never get back. It
It's
takes away
ridiculous.
time from your life. It takes away, and what that does is it creates all of these situations, it creates all these experiences of where you need to heal out of it. If you enter into a situation and you end up walking away with more than what you gave, there's nothing to heal from. The only time I find that you really need to heal from stuff, and again, I'm not talking about child abuse, and I'm not talking about trauma like that. I'm talking about staying in situations that
Relationships, yeah.
no longer really serve you anymore, and you kind of know that, and you still are like, I'm looking the other way because I'm not ready. The only time you really need closure and all of that is when you feel like you did not leave that relationship with more than what you walked out of it with. You need closure because you feel like that person took more than what you were given. So it's like, let me call him because I just need to talk to him and just make sure, I just need to call her, make sure that, no, you don't need to make sure of shit. The only time you need to do that is when, like I said, you feel like you were robbed
Mm-hmm.
and you want to make sure you want to give that person another opportunity, in my opinion, to make things either right or are they sure they want to do me like that? Because you never gonna find something like this. It's like, but if you again, if you walked in that situation and you left out of that situation more, that's not to say you won't still be sad that it might not have worked out. You might not still be
Mm-hmm.
upset or whatever. It's just that feeling of like, I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad because I didn't give a lung in my right arm and was beaten up and tossed around and none of that really happened to me.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. But
Yeah.
I still got this and this and this and this. And you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
instead, I feel like we are taught to endure as women. We're taught to put up with. The more that we can endure, the stronger we are.
Mm-mm. It's just like,
Girl, do you know what I've been through with that man? I've been with him 12 years, 12 of my good years. And that man, I sat up here and I wiped his booty when I sat up here and it's like, do you want an award for all that?
right? It's like,
I would not tell
no, you better leave before you miss out on your next 12 years. Like, just go. Like, just go.
just go, forget it all, forget it all. I just
Yeah.
want more of us women to have winning stories, even if the situation
Yeah.
doesn't work out. Just
Just
that you won, you
all of
got
this.
something.
Yeah, it could just all be avoided if you just believe people when they show you who they are. Just believe them.
Yeah,
Stop trying to twist the story.
yeah,
Stop trying to make a bad thing work.
yeah,
Just believe the person that they're showing you. Like, just believe them. You
yeah,
know, she made a bunch
yeah.
of excuses for that man. And it's just like, it's because you didn't want to be alone, sis. You were desperate.
Exactly.
You were desperate. We've all
Yes,
been there once or
yes.
twice, but yeah, you were desperate. So,
Definitely desperate. Definitely didn't need 50 parts. I feel like she could have wrapped it up in like a 2-part series
girl, I couldn't.
and just encompassed all of it.
I couldn't. I tried to listen
Like
to the
high
first
level, this is
part.
what happened.
It was just too long. I'm like, I can't believe this
But
went
she
viral.
got a lot out of it. She got a lot out of it. She got like BMW partnerships and
Yeah.
uh,
Said she got
podcast
sent on
stuff
this trip or
and
something too.
money,
Yeah.
trips, a house. I mean, she definitely talked herself. Listen, create that content.
I know. Shit.
If you've ever doubted yourself, could I, do I need to, girl, create that content. You don't know what's on the other side of it
Yeah. It
because
was good.
people
It was
was
good marketing
it was great marketing.
because she
And I don't even
drug it
think she
out.
realized it at the time. She drug it
Yeah.
out, and it's her
So
voice. I think it was her voice too that was very soothing. She's a great storyteller.
yeah, it was just it was a
Uh,
little too long-winded for me. I'd be like, why do I need to know
she did.
what
It
the
was a
fuck?
lot of some of those parts. Were recaps. Some of those parts were recaps. Like was like, okay, let me just before I go to the next part, I need to recap the last part because I think
Yeah.
there's some confusion. I'm thinking like, so yeah, I couldn't
I
do it
could
no
see
more.
her
I
aligning
was
with Tyler Perry though, and them coming out with a "Who the fuck did I
be a
marry"
great story.
movie.
That could even work. She
Yeah.
might even be in the movie. There
Oh,
probably will be a movie on her about this.
yeah. Because I mean,
I don't doubt it.
she set the scene like it was like an audiobook. It was like I was
It'll be
driving.
called Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
I was driving on this side of Atlanta. It was a dark day. It was storming, 79
Yeah.
degrees outside. My tire blew out. I don't have AAA. Just like I was like, girl, I can't. I don't have. I can't. My attention span right now is not what it used to be. I need to. Where's the cliff notes? Because I can't.
And it was a dark and cloudy day. Don't have AAA.
Just like, girl, could we get to the point?
Oh my gosh, Whitney,
Oh Lord.
stop.
But yeah,
Oh,
girl, this was
shout out
fun.
to Risa Tisa, happy for you, girl, that there is light on the other side of all that BS you did, put up with. So,
No, shout out to
oof.
you.
And of
Brave
course, like
sister.
normal, he trying to come and get some money. Here he come trying to get some money.
Legion said,
Legion said, that is not what happened. And I need money because I can't even get jobs no more. Sir, she used a whole nother alias name. Like, what do you mean,
you wanted to be
sir?
seen. Oh my
You
God.
wanted to be seen.
And you didn't have
We didn't
jobs
even
to
know who
begin
you were.
with.
We had to go digging. We had to go digging for you. Now here you are revealing yourself. Okay.
Oh, girl. It was so funny. 2024 is hilarious. I'm telling you.
It's hilarious. Starting out crazy.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in to this episode. It's been a blast. Make sure you follow us at Melanin and Me Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything.
Yep, everything, all that, all of that, all of that, all of that.
All that, all that.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.